if you've used a paint sprayer, you'll know that when they're working right, they're a great piece of kit and they make your job a hell of a lot easier. But when they have a few little problems, especially when you're in the middle of a job, that can be one of the most frustrating things in the world. So we're going to talk through some of the problems, some of the easier, let's say, beginner things to watch out for, going through to problems and issues that you could have if you're using the paint sprayer on a regular basis. And we'll try and cover off all of the bases in one quick video, almost like a problem-solving guide, so you can go through a list of options to check and really just diagnose any issues that you've got with the paint sprayer. So this is a Graco GX21. It's got a hopper on, so it might look a little bit different. Sometimes I have a hose coming out, but a lot of the problems that we're going to look at are really applicable to most paint sprayers, although we'll look at the GX21 because this is popular in the UK across most job sites really, and it's a great one for even if you're a beginner. It is a good solid machine to get. So we've got the gun, the spray tip, and the machine. So first potential problem, we'll turn the machine on and nothing happens. Why is nothing happening? Because here, I don't know if you can see, but there's the pressure switch here, well, pressure valve. So we'll turn this until we get to pressure. And what you can see there is that it's that's common when you first put paint in the machine. There's no actual paint in the pump. So first of all, you've got to prime the pump, or otherwise the pump's just running dry. So if you look at this here, there's a lever here. So what you'll do is turn the machine on, turn the pressure up until it starts making a noise. I'll turn the machine on, turn it up till it starts making a noise, and then flick the lever on the back for a few seconds. Let go. And then you can see there, that's built up pressure. Now, something I had to do there as well to actually get it to start pulling paint around the system. I've not used this machine for a while and they tend to clog up slightly. There's a little pressure valve underneath, a little button, and if you open the pump and the paint doesn't start going through like it did then, just press under there a couple of times and you'll kind of feel a little bit of pressure go through the valve. And then you basically leave it a few seconds, drop the lever like I did, and the key thing to check is on the side, on the valve here, you'll see that you've got pressure. So I've only got 500 PSI of pressure in there now, but that for what we're doing, firstly, that's all we need. So we've got pressure. We know we've got pressure in the pump, so that's the first thing that goes. First thing to rule out. So now we've got pressure in the pump. Now we turn to the gun. So the first thing, once you've got paint in, you've got pressure, the hoses hold a lot of water. So turn your tip so it's pointing towards you, and then you can spray into a bucket. And there you go. Spray out any water that's in the hose until you start basically coming through to the paint. Now, this goes to another question. If the tip is blocked, so while you're spraying and you're spraying away, and you're there spraying, you can see there, if you get a blockage, I think most people know this now, turn the tip, give it a quick spray, turn it back, and then you can spray again. When you've finished spraying, always turn your tip to the side. Now, one problem that we've had, or it's happened a few times for us on the job site, is you're spraying away and you keep getting blockages. Every 20, 30 seconds, blockage. You're twisting the tip around, spraying it out, turning it back, spraying again, can be really frustrating. Now, what that quite often is, so I'll show you the gun. Here, inside this gun, is a filter, which is this here. And you can see that it gets quite clogged up with paint. Now, that sits inside the gun there. If you keep getting blockages, chances are that that filter is basically clogged. Take the filter out, pull a filter in, keep one of those with you because that's what you want to keep as a spare. Pull a new filter in, you'll find that the blockages go away and you'll work as normal. Now, another thing as well, if you're spraying and you're not going to use the sprayer for a couple of hours, make sure you turn the tip there, and that should stop it from clogging up. Now, if you're not going to use the sprayer overnight, we generally tend to take the tip out, leave the tip in water, just a glass of water, and then we'll come back to the machine and we can use the machine the same, basically the following day. Personally, I'll only leave the machine with paint in for 2 days. Any more than that, I'll come home, I'll rinse it out on the night and put more paint in. Now, another problem or something else that we'll say is really careful. If you're using one type of emulsion and you want to put in another type of emulsion, that's fine. But if you're using some of a primer and then some wood paint, depending on what it is, never put a primer in and then go straight in with your wood paint because it will clog the whole machine up and it turns to like a super glue. If you've got any primers or base coats or anything, thoroughly wash the machine out before you then put the wood paint in or any kind of emulsion in. That's the same for oil-based paint. If you're going from different paints, basically, yeah, flush them out thoroughly or you're going to have real problems because it literally sets like super glue in the machine. Trust me, I know, we've learned from experience. So going through then to the machine, if you have got a problem, you can identify it really to 2 areas. The first one being check your pressure. If you've got pressure, so if I turn this up, you can see there that the pump goes and holds pressure. If it's holding pressure and you're working normal, any problem that you come across, you know it's not the pump. You know it's got to be down to the gun. So if I spray this now, you can see, I'll turn that down a bit, you can see that is the pressure's holding fine. So if there's an issue, it's the gun. So first of all, take the end off, just spray paint through, maybe take the tip out, just spray it through there and just spray it through and clear any blockages, and there you know it's the gun. If it's going and it's constantly going and not building pressure, first thing to do is lift the prime valve for a few seconds and drop it. So you can do it like this, and you see it builds pressure quite quickly, so you know the pump's fine. Now, if the pressure's going around and it's not holding pressure like it did do when we first turned it on, press this button under here and that will loosen anything. That's the first thing to check if it's the pump. Well, the prime valve and then that. And then if you're spraying away and you notice the pressure keeps dropping and not coming back up to where you need it to be, then unfortunately it's going to be one of 2 problems. It's either going to be the pump inside, which I'd recommend you keep a spare one, or it's going to be this valve here on the side, which is your priming valve. I'd recommend really, if you get the priming valve and the pump, you're probably looking about £200, probably about $250, $300. Keep them with you. If you change that and you change the pump inside, you can change both of them within half an hour. That's going to get you out of kind of most problems really. But like I say, if you're holding pressure, if you've got good pressure on here, it's normally a problem with the gun. And carry a few spare tips because the tips are prone to blocking, and just kind of work backwards. If it's a problem with a gun, see if it comes out. Would you take that out? If you're still having problems, you can change the filter, and kind of just, yeah, start with the easy things and work back. So there, I think we've really covered everything. Like I said, don't mix the paints, and I normally wash the machine out. If I know I'm not going to need it the following day, I'll wash it out. I wouldn't, if it's something like a gloss paint for your woodwork, me personally, that sets quite hard. I wouldn't leave that in the machine overnight, although you can do. But yeah, if it's emulsion, then you can leave it for one night, maybe two. But it is best to kind of leave these machines cleared out as much as you can, because they do last longer. Like I said, I've got a hopper on here, which I think makes it a lot better because you've not got to worry about any hoses or cleaning anything out. I literally just tip the paint in the top, and that's everything. But I think that's most of the problems solved, kind of thing that I really come across every day. If there's something you're struggling with or you're not sure about, by all means, put it in the comments and let me know. As you can see, we've got two here and we've come across most problems. I've been using these for over 12 months. I've had to change one prime valve and one pump in this one recently. But yeah, they do work quite well. It's just knowing the niggly little things at the start that can trip you up. And the main thing is the priming, and that little valve on the bottom there, just to, now you see that's stuck a little bit because that's been left for a couple of weeks. Press that priming valve and that will just open everything up and get it working through. The only other thing is, if you find it's not spraying or doing anything quite as what you're used to, wash the machine out, thoroughly wash it out with water, put the paint back in, and that'll quite often solve any problems again. Like I said, if you're struggling, put it in the comments and we'll see what we can do to help.